Hello, everyone. I'm your host, Mackenzie Jacob, and welcome back to Dress Rehearsal, the podcast where Broadway and fashion take center stage, and we dive deep on the roles that shape us on stage and off. Today's guest is Khaila Wilcoxon, known to some as the Troy Bolton of Broadway, but more on that later. Khaila started her career in the original cast of Hadestown and then went on to play Catherine of Aragon in Six on Broadway. Most recently, she originated the role of Becca, scaling trees and belting her heart out in Redwood the musical alongside Broadway legend Idina Menzel. Khaila has such a grounded and real perspective on the industry and is following her purpose of paving the way for the next generation of Black artists. She also isn't afraid to have capital Fun fun with her fashion. From her signature glasses collection to her La Roach and Zendaya inspired philosophy of dressing up for every occasion. Khaila is a true one of one. I hope you enjoy my conversation with Miss Khaila Wilcoxon. And welcome, Khaila Wilcoxon, to the podcast. How are you, Khaila?
I'm so good. I'm so good. Blessed. Very blessed.
We are so happy to have you here. And we start every episode with, when did you get bit by the theater bug?
Oh. I don't know when it actually when it like really stuck. Because I feel like I was bit when I was younger. My aunt was in the high school premiere of Godspell. So I came from a
Obsessed.
town that did the first high school premieres of things for MTI. That's like the theater district that I came from.
How lucky.
So I was like bit back then. I remember seeing that. I was like 4, which is crazy. And then maybe again when I saw her do Seussical in Chicago. So like I don't know when I actually like got fully bit and was like, I'm doing this. But you know what? Okay. It just came to my mind. It might have been when MTI asked our high school to do the high school premiere of Tarzan.
Ooh,
And I had to pick. I'm a sports girl. I came from the sports world. I love basketball, track and field. Those were my two things. And I remember the director asking me, can you quit basketball to play Kala? And I was like, no. So I tried to balance it out and was like half going to half practice, half rehearsal, and it was not working. My parents were like, your grades are slipping. This is not sustainable. Pick one. And I picked theater.
that's
And I
very Troy
never
Bolton
looked.
of you.
It was. And they call me, listen, that's what my friends say. They're like, you're like a Troy Bolton. I'm like, I love
Obsessed.
that. I actually do love that about me. But that's probably when it happened. And then I went to the International Thespian Festival in Lincoln, Nebraska, and we brought Tarzan there. And seeing so many kids that also like had people backed behind them to be like, this is your passion. I was like, okay, this is cool. I can do this. So maybe then, maybe it was Tarzan. And maybe it's Tarzan. Let's say that.
And would you say your aunt was like the first person that really like gave you the confidence and like poured into you?
I mean, I come from a musical family,
Okay.
so I've been singing my entire life. My dad is a drummer. Like I've literally come from a musical family, so it's not everyone poured in when I said
Mm,
I wanted to do it. I hurt some people's feelings when I decided to do theater instead of basketball because I had a
fair.
lot of great prospects going into basketball, and so they were not happy with the decision. But then I was like, ultimately, I'm like, I'm too short. Let's be real. I'm
Fair.
like an average height. Like, let me go sing and dance for a living.
Right. And what were some like the early musical influences that were playing in your house?
Ooh, well, that's crazy because my dad is very old school. I mean, we were like Jackson 5, Aretha
Love.
Franklin,
Love.
Kim Burrell, Heather Headley. I knew Heather Headley before she went to Broadway. I was gospel Heather Headley back
Mhm.
in the day. The Clark sisters, the Pointer sisters, Whitney Houston is one of my biggest musical inspirations. I grew up on a lot of old school music. So yeah, I mean, I would say Beyonce, but like that's nowadays. Like, but you talking about when I was a child, that's the music, that era, just
Just
gospel and R&B and pop.
I just got the vinyl of Aretha live at the Fillmore, and let me tell you,
Miss Franklin,
everything.
she gonna do it every time.
Eh, It's
And
so
get her
good.
background singers. Get her background singers.
And my favorite YouTube videos to watch is when she honored Carole King at the Kennedy Center. Have you seen it?
Yes.
She comes out,
Yes.
she does You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman, rips off her fur. The diva is ready to go.
She's always been like, I mean, that voice is disgusting.
It's
That voice
ridiculous.
is disgusting. Like, sorry, that is like that's such a people were like, guys, I promise you, disgusting
No,
means it's fantastic.
not
The voice is
not
disgusting.
derogatory, not
Not
derogatory.
derogatory. She is honestly like throat, open throat. But that's how I feel about Whitney. Like, I'm
Mm,
like, Whitney, the throat is open and she's so tiny, and you're like, where is all this sound coming from?
right.
Yeah, yeah.
This little vessel gives so much.
I grew up on the singers that sang live. That's what it is.
I'm obsessed with a live album. It's my favorite thing. And I catch myself sometimes where like I know like the little stories that they tell in between each song. And I'm like,
Yes.
I'm sick in the head. Like I could tell you I'm like, there's something going on up here and it's not well.
I was telling my partner a while ago, we love Tiny Desk, and
Obsessed.
I can tell when an artist is actually talented when they do their Tiny Desk. And sometimes there have been artists I will not say that I have stopped listening to when after I heard their Tiny Desk, and I was like, oh, it's all autotune. Okay, it's
That's the
not real.
tea.
Yeah, it's not real.
I mean, the Adele Tiny Desk, like it transcends body, spirit, everything.
It's like, what did Prince say? Like, he was like, when people sing live and he made that face, that meme, he was like, I like live singers. That's me. That's me. I need it live.
My favorite, this is such a random aside. My favorite like story is that Prince was in love with Kristen Chenoweth. And I was like, let me tell
Yes.
you, that is the tiniest little couple. Those Polly Pockets could go in your back of your jeans. Like they're so little.
Really tiny. Kristen is she's very tiny. And it's funny because I met her when I did Hadestown, but then she came back to see Redwood
Right.
and I was like, wow, you're still small.
So
I was
small.
like, wow, you're still really, really, really tiny.
So small.
You know who else is really tiny? Cynthia Erivo.
Yes. Well, there's an iconic picture of Cynthia, Kristen, Ariana, and
I
Adina.
was gooped and gagged.
No,
And she had on heels, and I was like,
no, and it says it goes, the world would never know. Idina Menzel is 5'4". Just
no,
all
never.
the
She's this
teeny
tall.
tiny little girls.
Gosh, I'm taller than Adina. I didn't realize it until I stood and I was like, oh my God. And then she started wearing little booties in rehearsals and stuff, like
Sure.
something that elevated her a little bit. And I was like, understood. But she looks long. She's got long limbs. That's
Yeah.
why.
Well, and there's this bar in the West Village that does pop culture trivia.
Hmm.
And one of the rounds was like rate these celebrities in height order. And it was like Bruno Mars as the tiniest. And I was like, don't do him like that. Like, that's so
Yeah.
funny.
Listen, I love short people.
Yeah, of
I love fun size people. My favorite fun size person is Storm Lever. She's so tiny, but she's packing a punch though. That girl is everything.
course.
I love the big personalities on the tiny people.
Truly. And to jump into Broadway a little bit, I want to talk about Hadestown first. You wore
Oh.
every single hat in that show from swing to understudy, which feels like such a crash course in just like surrendering perfection. How do you feel like playing those roles really early on in your Broadway career prepared you for like an 8 show week?
First of all, on stage, it made me study a bit more, like
Mhm.
study everyone's movements. So I knew that as humbly as possible, I was like, if Andre were to go down, I know exactly where to pick up. Like, and I became the dance captain, the assistant dance captain at some point. So I was also like, I had that responsibility, and I knew I was going to have that responsibility at one point to know everything. But also when I was in high school, I was one of those people that like would just pay attention to everyone's tracks.
Hmm.
And so you can be able to just step in and do what you got to do. So I mean, for me doing that at such an early point, it prepared me for every single role and every single element, knowing and understanding every single element of a show, not just looking at the numbers, but knowing where the light cues go, knowing I used to hang out backstage with the stage managers and like look at them call the show. That specificity when you're a dance captain swing is important to me. And I also like to tell every single person that wants to do something like this, you have to, at one point in your career, be an understudy or swing. It's a
Hmm.
non-negotiable. You
Yep.
need to at least fight for it once. And if you feel, most people are like, oh, I don't feel like I'm capable of doing that. But like, if you don't expand or stretch your brain in that way, you're challenge yourself. These people,
Right.
everybody wants it easy, but like, take the challenge on. And that's what I was excited. I do like a challenge. I personally, I think it's the competitive sports person in me, but like, I love a challenge. So I was intrigued by knowing all three parts of the fates and doing 3 days in a row, three different fates, and having that, like, I like how you said, like, kind of letting go of the perfection of it all.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not going to be perfect. And we had like funny moments on stage where, Kate Trinidad would just pull me and be like, no, baby, you're over here. And I'm like, oh, yes, yes, yes. I was just worker two yesterday. I'm sorry. I'm running to this spot. So yeah, I love the letting go of perfection and just having fun and being, to be a swing, you have to be so in the moment too. You can't be trying to track ahead and think ahead. You have to be paying attention to what's happening right then and there. And then you can adjust and make the little adjustments and take your notes after the show. But yeah, I think it prepared me probably the best. So I do recommend that everyone becomes a swinger understudy at one point in their career. It's important. It's the most important thing.
It also feels like a perfect building block that, like, if down the line you ever want to be a director, you ever want to be any other part of the puzzle, it is such a foundation in like every vantage point. And so I think taking those opportunities when they come is so valuable.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I don't like I don't say it's also a skill to stretch for shows like Six where you had it's so precise. That's nothing like Hadestown was so precise. You had three turntables and a lift. You can't be all over the place. You can't miss a step. You have to. So that was like the perfect show for me to start off with, but it was the hardest thing that I've ever done. So, and I was glad. I mean, I succeeded. I
I
succeeded.
mean, that was the hardest, and you were scaling trees in Redwood, so that tells you everything you need to know.
Oh, we can get to that. That was nothing for me. I
Love,
that was
love.
nothing for me. I was having a blast up there, honestly.
Well, so you mentioned Andre DeShields, and I want to talk about a little bit the fact that Hadestown was led by such veterans, and you got to be in the original cast, which meant you got to see how that rehearsal room worked. What do you feel like that taught you about how you want to enter rooms, or just like how you want to be as a leader?
What's interesting is Andre, first of all, I call him Papa Dre. Andre
Obsessed.
DeShields is one of like he calls himself, he's like, my pronouns are icon, legend. Like, and I'm like, no, he earned those, he earned that status.
It's very
There's a
Harvey
picture,
Firestein, like Mama
there's a
Hen.
picture someone has of him like pouring into me and Eva, and we're just sitting there on our like hands and knees, and he's just like telling us a story. And that would be the rehearsal process of like, he would just pour into us and things he would say would be like, rehearsal is the place to come in and you give 100% rehearsal too. You come in and the rehearsal is the performance as well. That way you can build up to that performance and understand how you are going to do the performance when it actually comes full throttle at you. Whereas Amber was one of those like take it easy. Is not listen, we're chilling, we're hanging back. Like I can do this, I can do that. Amber was a new mother at the time, so it was also beautiful to see a room full of women support a woman. It's kind of why I have a thing about I will not do a show with an all-male team. That is a no-no for
Mm.
me. I need support on the team. I also will not do a show without a person of color on the team, which that process taught me as well. But being with so many legends, everyone was willing to pour into the children. As we like to,
Mhm.
they were willing to just give us all of the information. Any questions we had, they were very open. Andre does not need to be one of those people that would have a dressing room door open. And sadly for everyone else, I don't think he was as open, but like for me personally, the door was open. I wasn't hanging out in Andre DeShield's dressing room, like just letting him ready to tell me a story or letting him tell me how I did the night before. And he never gave notes, but he always had wisdom
Mm.
about a moment that happened or I clocked that moment that we had. Let's keep that moment every time you're on. Like it was that specific and I was very grateful to be surrounded by them. Yeah. Yeah.
I also think, like you said, it maybe not the door was open for everybody, but like when you are a leader of that level, you can identify the open vessels that like not are worth pouring into, but like are so dying to get that wisdom. And so it's like, yeah, maybe you don't have the energy to pour into every single person, but you can pinpoint the people that are like really chomping at the bit to know those things. And the people that are like, I would love to Frankenstein. I love this about Amber. I love this about Andre. And like, how is this going to become Kayla? And so
Yeah.
it's really special when you get that recognition of like, yeah, I'm really open to learning from you.
Oh yeah, and I also like that's not to say that those were the only people like the other I mean one of the biggest people in that building for me was T. Oliver Reed.
Mm.
I call him my Uncle T. Everyone's a family member. We were literally truly a family in that building because we went through so much together and building a show of that caliber, knowing that it was going to be something different and unlike anything that had ever hit a Broadway stage. We took on the biggest challenge that I think every new show takes on. But like there was something about that year, that specific show that was so important. And Uncle T molded probably one of the biggest molders into why I do what I do and the artist that I am and the way my brain works in these spaces and in these rooms.
Mm.
He is a master at what he does. And by the time he did Hadestown, I think it was his 15th, 17th Broadway show. I don't know.
God.
The man, I mean, he's fantastic, and he's like a bit older, but he was still the youngest spirit. Always had a like, maybe didn't have a smile on his face, but was like no BS. Was always
Right.
ready to get down to business, and I knew that I could sit next to him. And I remember that one of like the first days of rehearsal, I was like, oh, I have to be next to this man. He's the one, and he did, and he was actually the reason I left Hadestown as well. He was like, Kayla, leave, get out of here. He was like,
Mm,
you're so good at what you do as a swing, you will get stuck if you don't move on. And I was like, you're right. Okay. I took that advice and ran.
right. Because it's
Yeah,
so
yeah.
easy to be in a show where you feel comfortable and you're like, I know the show, this is a great gig. Like, and there's always the imposter syndrome of like, I'm never gonna work again. Like, this is it.
Yes.
And so having someone be like, flee the nest, like, you got this, like, there will be more to come for you. And it wasn't lightning in a bottle once.
Yeah, no, he believed in me probably more than anyone in that building.
Mm.
He was one of those people, he saw the light and was like, okay, how can I help twist that light bulb a little bit more to make her shine just a bit brighter? And he did that by bringing me on as his assistant dance captain. He was like, I need an assistant. Didn't need an assistant. He was doing just fine.
Sure.
He didn't need an assistant, but he saw how my brain was working. He saw how I was able to step in and jump in and out of rehearsals, different parts. And he was like, I need an assistant. And then like he was like, this is a pay bump for you. I'm gonna help you
Right.
out. I'm gonna help you. And then I was like every other show now. I mean, I've only been a principal now. I've not gone back to being an ensemble member, but like I'm like, would you guys let me be a dance captain as a principal? No, that never happens. They don't do that. But like it's a skill that I have that I wish I could use a bit more now these days because he really did twist and turn those knobs in my brain.
And it's like a tangible thing too of like he wants you to get that credit that like down
Yes.
the line you can ask for this because you've had this experience and it's just
Yeah.
sets you up for success in a whole new way.
And I can brag by saying I actually had the honor to work with T. Oliver Reed.
Hmm.
That also for me is like, okay, well, you were a dance captain? Yes, under T. Oliver Reed. Just
Right.
throwing that out there. He's an icon. He's a legend. He one of the best dance captains ever to ever step a foot on that Broadway stage.
Mm.
17 shows later, and he's no longer doing it anymore, which makes me sad. But like, man, that man is brilliant. He is really good at what he does.
So with T's encouragement, you went on to join the Six tour and then on Broadway for a total of almost 3 years. And so
Or
fo four. So doing
yeah.
a show that long, what was your process mining new layers of the character and like how you built that muscle?
It's funny. I actually, every year that I did it, I did a different Beyonce album. I themed her off of a different Beyonce
Fun.
album. So, of course, everyone wants to jump in and be like Lemonade. So I was like, okay, let me lemonade this out for as long as I can. Then I was like, whoa, she's getting too crazy. She's rock. She's insane. I also watched. I mean, I'm a Beyonce fan by trade. When we were in rehearsals, we were watching. They were like, we're gonna sit down and watch a Beyonce concert today, and all the girls were like, oh my God, yay! And I was like, I can do this choreography in the back. I've seen this. I've watched this way too many times in my life. I was like, let me sit in the back because I'll let you guys enjoy this for the first time while I have already studied. It's been in my blood since I was like 5. I'm like, this ain't new to, I'm not new to this. I'm true to
Right.
this for real, for real. So that's how I pretty much like did it for so long was I was able to take different eras of Beyonce herself and incorporate them in. And I also made sure, I feel like when people approach Aragon, and I hope that if there's any Aragons watching this, they don't take offense to this. I feel like when people watch Aragon or do Aragon, they want to just keep her this stoic, mean, like kind of mean girl, like just very aggressive in a way.
And
Whereas
one-dimensional
I
maybe.
had, yeah, very one, and I had no energy to do that because I'm a Black woman in America. We already get stereotyped as that. So I was very against it. And I had
Mm.
lots of conversations with the directors of being like, I'm not doing this. Don't use this language because this is not how I'm going to be put into this box. And Toby and Lucy were so kind. They were kind enough to be like, yeah, she's funny. Make her funny. I read
Fun.
the script for the first time and I was cracking up. And I was like, why is someone playing this funny? I was like, I'm gonna go in here and just be goofy as hell, like whatever. She's not that serious. Like she's had a serious life. Like we're at this point in her life where she's like, whatever. She's
Yeah,
that very much so. Like I'm
always smoking the cig.
not she's not pressed about these women, whatever. She
Right.
was the
She's seen
first, she knows
things.
she's the first. She when you know you're that girl, you don't have to act like you're that girl. And that's how I
Period.
approached Aragon because I was like, I know she's that girl, so I don't have to put on for you guys. I sing the first song. I don't care if I crack or not. I don't care. Y'all gotta sing after me anyway, child. I get to go sit down and in the back. I'm chilling. So I loved when Toby and Lucy came in and they recognized and acknowledged the fact that thank you for taking on the comedic part of her and not playing her so stoic.
Mm,
And I think I took that from Beyonce. Beyonce is very goofy. If you watch her documentaries, if you watch her at like behind the scenes, she's actually really funny. And same with Michael Jackson. Like he's a prankster. Like if you watch these people, they have personality. So to play her so one-dimensional, just like whatever, I was like, I can't do that. So
right.
that's how beyond the years. And I did get in a lot of trouble. Got in a lot of trouble.
Sure.
Because there's like little improv moments, and my improv is chaotically hilarious.
Mm.
And I didn't mind it. Sometimes they had to wheel it in. And I was like, okay, it's fine. And I'd wheel it in for like 3 shows. And then I'd be like, I'm bringing it back, man. I'm bringing it back.
The
So
people want
I get in
it.
a lot of trouble. I did get in a lot of trouble there with like my improving. But it worked because it just was in my head, Beyonce, she's quick on her feet. So that's how it just had to work for me. Yeah.
Well, and you're not alone because Jonathan Groff famously goes home after every show and watches Beyonce YouTube videos and just like start to finish will watch the entire concert. And I'm like, no, right, right,
Spirit, we're kin in spirit. Listen, that is what I was doing. I also trained like Beyonce, which was the girls don't do that anymore, I guess.
right.
The girls they're a little spoon-fed for me. The children are a little spoon-fed these days in rehearsal processes, whereas I feel like I came up in a time, keep saying came up in a time, but it was literally only 10 years ago. I've only
Right.
been in New York for 10 years. So I came up in a time though where you had to work for it. And so I was up every single day, 7 a.m., training like Beyonce, running on the treadmill, singing the first 30 minutes of the show
Mm,
every single morning. And then I added a weighted vest. And they were like, weighted vest? That's brilliant. Well, the costume is 15 pounds. How am I going to train my body to sing with this weight and be running around stage? Like, it was things that I was like, why are you not clicking this? I'm clicking this before you're clicking this. But now the children get weighted vests. They get the weighted ankles,
right.
even though the costume has changed. It's not no longer 15 pounds, but like I said, everything is spoon fed to these kids these days. They don't want to work for it anymore. And it bothers me because I feel like I worked really hard on that role coming after Adriana, who is a powerhouse in her own right,
Hmm.
and was very forthcoming about this costume is heavy. Your legs are going to bruise. Your knees are going to hurt. And I was like, okay, how can I train? And I'm also the athlete in me was like,
Exactly.
let's do it. Let's do it. So
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like I was born to play Aragon, even though I did not want to play Aragon.
Oh,
When I got the call that they wanted me to audition, I said no 3 times. I was like, I don't want to be in
wow.
this show because I'm kind of a tomboyish. I don't really love this glitz and glamour. I was like sparkles, but then they were like, Kayla, it's theater. You're supposed to transform. I was like, yeah, you're right.
You're like,
And
so true, so true.
but I went and I watched a bootleg of the UK girls, and then I was like, you know what? They're gonna pin me for an Aragon, but I do not want to be an Aragon. I was like, I want to be Seymour. I was like,
Wow.
I want to give the most gospel-y rendition of Heart of Stone, like come in there and make the people weep.
Come on.
And and then I was like, and then I'll probably also get called in for Cleves because I'm like a contralto and I can do all that low stuff. So whatever. And I went in and I sang a ballad, which I'd never done, a pop ballad. I sang Hurt by Christina Aguilera.
Sure.
And Roberta Duchek, the music director, was like, hey, so do you have anything else? Like, this seems easy. Can you sing something else? And then I went to my go-to song, which I will not give away on this platform because
Yeah.
it's my go-to audition song. And it is never, every time I sing it, they're like, what is this? So,
None of our
but I will say it's
business.
a Sarah Bareilles, it's a Sarah Bareilles song. So I sang that. And then, of course, I got the call back and the callback was for Aragon and Cleves. And I was like, oh, I was like, I don't want to do these roles. I want to be Seymour.
Right.
And so I was like, can I be Seymour? They were like, no, they don't. They want Seymour to be like high pit. And I was like, whatever. Okay, fine.
They
And then
said
I kept doing
no,
these
Diva.
callbacks. Yeah, they were not wanting me to do it. And then when I did my final callback for Cleves, they kept me in the room and they kindly told me that I would not be Cleves, that it is way too easy for me. They were like,
What?
this is right up your alley and we don't like, and I was like, okay, it's easy for me. That's fine. I'm okay with that.
Don't you
But then
want
I
it to
went
be
in and did,
easy so they can sustain 8 times a week? Like,
I
hello.
think they meant easy as in like I'm sitting too in the pocket. Like I wasn't trying.
Okay.
Like I wasn't acting. I was able to just like do it. And they were like, okay, well, we can get more out of you. And I was like, okay. Then I did Aragon, and of course, everyone back in the day, Six did the callbacks with everyone in the room. So
Hmm.
everyone you were in callbacks for, they all sat and listened to you, which I thought was cool, but also like,
Kind of a mind
and
game.
it was definitely a mind game. It was definitely a mind game. And I did my cleaves by myself because I got called in Hadestown like 2 hours. I was like, I gotta go, actually, can't do the whole day. And then I did my Aragon with all the Aragons. And Olivia Donaldson has a great story. She says that she knew it was me from when I finished. And a couple girls say that, and I'm like, ha ha ha. But I actually walked out of that room and I immediately called my agents and I was like, I'm not booking Six.
Mm,
And I was like, these girls are wailing through the roof. Everyone's riffing out of pitch. Like the team is living for it. And I was like, they're living, and I'm like, I'm not interested. I was like, I almost don't want to do it.
I
Like,
don't
if
want to
that's
play
what they're
that
living
game.
for, I'm not here for that.
Right.
And then Roberta called me in and was like, hey, I love you. I don't need you to do all of that. She's like, I know what you can do, and I don't need to hear that from you because I know what you have. So can
Mm.
we just play with like some powerhouse things? And I was like, sure, sure, sure. And she let me play, and she let me stay low. I didn't have to hit the high, crazy operatic notes. Like, I was like, I don't do that, and I'm not going to try to do that to make you guys, to please you all. And I booked it like 5 minutes to places going on for Hadestown. Like 2 days
Gagged.
later. It was insane. It
Gagged,
was
gagged,
insane.
gagged.
But I never wanted to be Aragon. It was actually when they asked me, was I interested? I said no. She's my skip track in the room. I didn't mean to say it out loud, but it like rolled. I was like, oh God, no, that's the skip track.
You're like, that's my inside thought. And suddenly it's out and it's in the audition
Should have
room.
never came out like that. And I was like, well, I booked it, so I guess I can't skip that song anymore.
That is beyond. And I think the training part is so interesting. I've seen a video of Pink talking about training for her world tour, and she can have someone stand on her chest and still belt it out because that's
Yeah.
the kind of training that goes into like all of the aerial work that she does.
Hmm.
And do you make a playlist for every single part that you play?
I
And like,
do.
wait, what are your other playlists? We need to know.
The playlist for Becca and Redwood was very like indie lots of gospel, lots
Mm,
of that spiritual music. Whereas like because Aragon is kind of crazy. It's actually called Queen's Vibes. One of the
love.
other girls who I shared a dressing room with most of the time, we came up with this Queen's Vibe playlist, and it's a lot of Beyonce, of course, a lot of Megan Thee Stallion, a lot. I can rap probably any Megan Thee Stallion song. It was kind of chaotic. A lot of Cardi B, like Rosalia, a lot of like that, crazy kind of like gangster music.
Sure.
She was a bad bitch. I was like, listen, I gotta have, and it was only I actually the whole 4 years that I did Six, I only listened to female identifying artists.
Wow.
And it was crazy because when I met my partner while I was on tour, he was like playing all this music. I was like, no, I can't listen to that. I have
You're
to
like,
focus
la
on,
la
I
la la
have to,
la.
it's all about the girls, all about the girls, like for the girls. But yeah, it was a very interesting playlist. Very, very interesting. And I didn't really get into the playlist probably till Six. So I don't really think I had anything for Hadestown, but I don't think I had the brain capacity to hold any music.
Do you feel like when you hear those songs now, you're just like taken right back to that moment?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Anytime Megan Thee Stallion, what is it? Crybaby. It's Crybaby with her and the baby. And that's like that was one of my like one that was like one of my knee warm up songs. I'd get on my knees like Megan and I'd twerk in the dressing room, and then I'd go get my costume on and then I'd play it again and I'd rap it and I'd twerk it with my heels and my costume on, like just gotta
Yeah.
get the weight of the costume. Yeah, I'm a mess. I'm a mess.
It's a process. It's called the process.
Exactly. The girls used to
Yeah.
laugh at me because when we were on tour, if we had a dance studio like in the space of the theater,
Hmm.
I would actually like learn a TikTok dance before a two-show day, and that would be my warm-up. And then I would post the two, and they would be like, "You have the energy to do that and then do a two-show day and still give 150,000%." And I'm like, "Listen, it's all about the vibes. If we were here for a good time, not a long time, 90-minute
Right.
show.
Of all the
We're here
shows
for a
to
good
do
time.
it, let it be a 90-minute
Might
show.
as well. Yes, yes."
And a show where you're just like shot out of a canyon and you're on stage the whole time. Like, let's go.
Exactly.
I also saw a video of you during the Six curtain call where you took off your wig at the end of the show and showed that you are bald in real life. And that like liberation and ownership of yourself just felt so magical and like a beautiful example for young performers. So I need to know like what that moment meant to you.
Well, I begged for a long time actually to be bald.
Mm.
I was like not fighting for it, but I was like, guys, we can make it happen.
Yeah.
I was like, I can be bald. I don't need a crown. I stand tall enough on my own. Like, I don't need a crown. Let me just be bald. And they were adamant about being like, no. And then they're like, well, how would we fit the, like, then they're like considering it. And so for me in that moment, it was like this is actually who I am. I wanted to bow as myself. I had been Aragon for so long. And I didn't know that a lot of people did not know that I was bald.
Oh.
A lot of people, they were like, oh, and then they were like, how does the wig stay on your head? It stays on your head for the whole 90 minutes. And I was like, well, we have incredible teams back that are back there literally making sure this thing does not shift anywhere. But I wanted to bow as myself. And I felt like in that moment, Aragon did not deserve the bow, but Kayla deserved the bow for enduring such a hard role and such a hard show that demands so much of your body, your spirit, your soul, and like your mind and your focus.
Hmm.
So that was for me. I needed
Right.
to bow as myself, and I've never gotten the chance to bow as my most authentic self. And I felt bad because I'd like told Jana, but I didn't like remind her like it was actually going to happen. And I did get permission from people. I did get permission from the stage manager to take off my wig. I let her know. I said I am going to bow bald, and they said that is totally fine. I said okay, thank you. Yeah, I just wanted to bow as myself.
And this might be a deeper cut, but then in Redwood, there's a part of the story that talks about how Becca's hair like wouldn't fit under like a normal climbing hat. Like, was that already in the story, or was that like you woven through? Amazing.
Tina Landau added it in, and it was a long process of how we were going to add it in. It was
Mm,
also a process of are we going to wig her? And Idina was like, absolutely not. She is stunning with this bald head. So it was important that they weaved it in because the speech was there, but it had nothing to do with not fitting the cap. It was just like making fun of her. Like it was something completely different. The speech was still there, but for Tina to recognize a bald black woman and bald by choice
hmm.
and feeling so empowered. And I did not want to be wigged for that show. So I was very happy that that was the ultimate decision. But she really did empower me by letting me say that speech. And some nights it was getting hoops and hollers of like, hell yes, girl.
Mhm.
Like, yes. Because that's it's the reality of most black girls these days. Most black girls don't have the privilege to look pretty bald. That sounds crazy, Kayla. Not everybody can be bald.
No.
Okay? Especially black women. And it's not it was yeah, not everybody can be bald. And I happen to have thank my dad, I have a great head shape and
Period.
can be bald. And I've always wanted to be bald. I've always wanted to shave my head. Even when I was younger, my mom was like, "You're crazy." But now that I'm older and I was able to do it myself, it was very empowering. So shout out to Tina Landau for adding that speech in because it every night I was excited to say it.
And for anyone who didn't get to see the show, can you tell them like what that part of the show is about and kind of what that speech was?
Yeah, so she would come in, Adina's character would come in and she would kind of be complaining about the gear or whatever. And it was kind of a blow at a professional who like professionally does this. And she was like, well, why are you complaining about this kind of in that way? And then Michael's Parks character's over there helping her get into the rig. And I'm just like kind of babbling. It's the first time you saw Becca kind of spiral. And I'm only babbling because it's annoying to hear a privileged white woman come into my world
Hmm.
and complain about things that you shouldn't even be complaining about because you know nothing about it. And so I think that's what it stemmed from was like you're talking from a privileged place when you don't even understand the privilege that gets stripped away from people like me, that I
Right.
don't get to have that privilege to have hair because it doesn't fit under these helmets because they're not made for black hair because nothing is made for black women in America. Everything is against us. The most underrated, the most unrepresented, the most disrespected person in America is a black woman.
Yep.
And she let me off the handle with that speech. I was very grateful. So it also was fun to just take a dig at some privileged people.
Truly.
Man, I love that woman. She has so much personality. And she's such a hard worker. She's like one of the hardest working directors I've ever worked with. Maybe it's because she was also writing Redwood, but like her focus and she couldn't work with noise. It was like if she's writing in silence, not a pin drop, silence. Yeah. Oh, one of the most beautiful women I've ever worked with.
And as a director, people always say that her rehearsal room is not normal at all. What can
It
you
is
tell us
not.
about building Redwood with her?
Listen, first of all, I respect her and the way she runs her rehearsal room. She runs the smoothest rehearsal room I've ever been a part of. I want to first
Love.
start off with that. There are no phones allowed. You can go on break, leave the room and go on break and get on your phone. There are no phones allowed. Viewpoints is very important in a rehearsal process. And it was the first time I'd done viewpoints for a show. And it helped tremendously. I
Mm,
actually was like, absolutely. Like I said before, there is silence when she is working or writing. I mean, not a pin drop. Your focus is at all-time high. And circling up is very important for
mhm.
her every single rehearsal. She wants to know how you're doing, if you're capable to take on the tasks for the day, if there's a mental block, she wants to know about it. If you feel like I'm just tired today and I don't have it in me, okay. Like she starts every rehearsal with a circle up, which I appreciated because then you're aware of everyone's positions that day. What percentage are you at? What are you
Right.
giving today? The healthiest space rehearsal room I've ever been in. She doesn't play that. She don't play that. It's a no BS room and I love it. It's very professional, but like healthy in a healthy way, which is not normal for these rehearsal rooms.
Right.
It's not normal.
And something that is so signature to you is that you lead with spirituality and intention. And I think it was really beautiful to see that in your character of Becca. She talks about Tikkun Olam, which I literally have on a bracelet, which means repair the world in Hebrew.
Mhm.
And I'm curious how it felt for you to play a role so rooted in like wisdom because it feels really aligned with you as a person.
Yeah, it was interesting. I did let Tina know immediately. I was like, I'm not Jewish.
Sure,
I had
sure.
to let her know immediately. I said, because listen, there's going to be some feedback about me not being Jewish, and I want you to be prepared for it. But I am a Christian, and there are linear beliefs in that way, and healing the world and repairing the world. And so I did get a lot of hate messages during the show process, which a lot of people don't
Really?
know. I had to get off social media for a while during that show
Wow.
because I was getting really mean messages about me not being Jewish, me being a black Jew, like black Jews are not. And I was like, that's not a monolith. I have black Jewish friends that are really truly like Jewish. So I'm like,
And
I was
there are
very confused.
so many Ethiopian Jews, like there are so many Jews
Truly.
of
So
color. Yeah.
the messages
Adina's
that
son.
I was getting, hello. I was like, I
Hello.
was very confused about the feedback that I was getting, but I was prepared. I knew it was going to come because I'm also a very devout Christian. I love God. I love Jesus. So being so close in that, I also let her know immediately. I was like, my dad is a minister. I grew up in the church. And so understanding the beliefs and doing the research and finding those linear passages was very important for me. And she helped me. My dad helped me. I called him a lot. And how can I portray this in a way where I'm not offending this culture? And he would be like, okay, this is actually where it says this in the Bible. And like, you can take it back to, so I was very supported
Hmm.
in doing it, but I also knew that it would come so naturally to me because I didn't realize I was such a caregiver. I didn't realize I was such a like actually a nice kind person until you like hit those buttons. I That
Sure.
role kind of taught me that. It taught me like, oh, you're actually very patient. You're very kind. You exude the fruits of the spirit, but there are some things about Becca that were very challenging to take on just as a black woman, being a nerdy black woman, being a very intelligent, highly intelligent black woman, saying these really big words and people being like, she shouldn't be able to do that. She shouldn't be able to say that. Or why is her spirituality like, well, how does this actually align with
Mhm.
her real, like her true life? So it was a lot of conversations in that way. Tina was a very big help because she is Jewish. So she was
Mhm.
very and like a lot of the team was actually Jewish. I believe some of the producers were Jewish. So it's just about asking questions and trying
Mhm.
to find the same, like how can we meet in the middle with
Right.
this? And they found it. And I thought that Becca's spirituality throughout the show was shown and balanced very beautifully for myself and for well the audience. Yeah. Yeah.
But it was a way of being a vessel for just like a higher power rather than
Yes.
like this is linearly cut and dry one thing or the other.
Yeah, and I'm always that is my biggest thing. I believe my purpose is to be a vessel and to tell stories. That is the gift that I have been given, and my purpose is to help people cathart and sit with the stories and the questions and the themes, to sit with it so that it can help them in their own lives, so that they can question themselves. For that show, that was very important for me, to for people to walk away and say, is there a higher power that I connect with, that I can lean on, that I believe in, that will carry me through? And I was very grateful to have a better understanding of Tikkun Olam because I did not know anything about it.
It's my favorite thing because it's something that everyone can get on board with. And it's like such a grounding thing of like how you repair your corner of the world rather than like taking on everything all the time.
Yes. And I wish it was expanded in the show more.
Mm.
It
Yeah.
it felt like it was a throwaway a little bit, and I really do wish that it was expanded more. I think people got a very clear thing that, Becca is spiritual,
Mhm.
and she is Jewish, and I think that they just tried to focus too much on the like she's Jewish, she's Jewish, she's Jewish, where I was like, well, we could talk about it
Right.
rather than just saying we can like dig deeper if you want, but I digress.
There was also the fact that it was a purpose-driven show, like shedding light on the environment and the conservation that needs to happen right now. And do you feel like having a show with that greater purpose added a new layer for you as a performer?
Oh, yes. I mean, it was, first of all, I just want to say that show was very difficult to do at the time that we brought it in the world.
And you couldn't have planned that whatsoever.
Could not have planned it. We actually had to change a song and the lyrics of a song because of the LA fires. Idina had to relearn a song. And both songs were fantastic, but the other song would have probably like people probably would have gotten up and walked out because the lyrics were that strong.
Mhm.
And I felt for Idina because also she's doing this show in New York City talking about the environment while her own environment where she lives and she loves is burning.
Yes.
It was it was very, very difficult, but it also I got to learn so much about the trees. I'm a nature girly. I do love nature, but to learn about redwoods, they sent me to the redwoods. I got to climb a real redwood. Like I was very grateful to have a better understanding about how we can heal the earth. Tina was very sent us newspaper articles and like all these the research was extensive. We have books. I have so many books over here about trees. There was I've never actually done that much research for a role before. I was very grateful to have a better understanding of where the earth is and where we really could be going, and it's very scary.
Yeah. And in your bio for Redwood, you said, quote, young black artists, if the sun doesn't ask permission to shine, neither should you. First of all, obsessed with that quote.
Get a
And
lot of hate
second,
from that quote.
please. And when was the moment you felt like you started to harness that light fully?
Hadestown, Under the
Mm.
Shields. I remember the first time I went on his Eurydice, and he told me, he was like, your light is bright as hell, baby
Oh.
girl. And he was like, and I hope that you never ask permission to continue to do what you're doing. And you keep learning and you keep being a sponge in these rooms. And I think that was the first time. And it for me, that is such an important thing that I want young Black artists to learn because there's not a lot of space for us in this industry. And some of the people that are in our positions that are people of color are in it for themselves and not in it to open doors for the people below them and beneath them. And I shouldn't say beneath them, but the younger generation, the next generations to come, they're not willing to keep those doors open for them. And it sucks and it's baffling. Didn't have the privilege to learn anything about this until later on in life, who didn't know, who couldn't harness her talent, who couldn't harness her power until later on in life. So, yeah, I will continue to advocate for young Black artists to shine as brightly as you can and don't give a damn about what these people say in your ear. Because I had the voices in the voice and the people in my ear telling me that I couldn't do it, telling me that I wasn't good enough, that I was too different. I was, nah, you're too manly, too masculine, you're too this. And I was like, ha ha ha, that's funny. Ignore it, keep going. It's hard to look forward when you're looking in the rearview mirror. Got to keep forward. Yeah.
And it feels like the world is taking notice of this light because you were honored by Black Women on Broadway with the Florence Mills Shining Star Award. Like, what did it mean to be celebrated in a room next to like LaShawn's, Latanya Richard Jackson? Like, what did that tell the young Black artist in you?
First of all, that was insane.
Wild.
Actually, so Amber and Danielle came to see me as Eurydice in Hadestown. So I have a relationship with Amber where she's like a big sister,
Amber
where she
Iman,
checks.
for anyone who's
Yes, Amber
wondering.
Mon. Yes. Sorry, Amber Gray as mother.
Yes,
Amber Mon is auntie, TT, big
obsessed.
sis, big cousin. She has been also a beautiful guide for my career as well. So when she emailed me it that I was getting the award, and then she texted me. She said, "Are you okay?" Are you okay? She's like, take a deep breath. Because I know she's like, we emailed this early on to you because it's going to take you a second to process this. And it did. I was unwell because I didn't believe that I deserved it,
Mm.
which is an odd thing to say, but like, I'm like, I haven't done enough to get an award. I haven't, I'm not important enough. I'm not well known enough. I don't have all the accolades. I don't have all the credits. So it was very shocking to me. Also, next to LaShawn
I
and
mean,
Latanya, Miss Latanya, I was like, I'm sorry, insanity. I'm good friends with LaShawn's daughter, and I had to tell LaShawn's there for the first time that I played Dessa Rose, and she was like, "You know that show?" And I was like, "That is one of my favorite shows." And she tore that stage up in Dessa Rose. It is the hardest show I've ever done. There's 66 songs in the show. Dessa sings 34 of them. It is not an easy show. And so she was also one of the first artists that I heard when I was in high school, like hearing the different unconventional Black woman's voice.
the
And it
ones
was
on this
just,
island, the like color purple. I mean, it's everything.
she was crazy. And then Miss Latanya, who has a career expanding, and to continuously see her in particular get overlooked. It was beautiful to be in the same room as her and to see her be honored because she is one of those people in this industry that is completely and utterly always overlooked. And people always look and turn to her husband, but that woman is so talented. I don't know if you got to see Purpose, one of the best plays that I've ever seen. And she deserved that Tony. I'm sorry, love you.
Tell 'em.
She deserved that Tony. I don't know who, Dorian Gray, sure. I think that's who won it that year.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, Sarah
Baby,
Snook.
Miss Latanya deserved that Tony. And I know people were making fun of Mr. Samuel about his look after, but let's be very clear, that was all of our faces because she deserved that Tony. So to have her, to know that she was going to be honored by her own community is enough for me. And that for me, being honored by my own community is enough for me. To know that I've put in the work, that I'm loved, that I'm cared for, that I have a community that is so supportive is enough for me.
Hmm.
So I was very grateful and very overwhelmed, very, very overwhelmed.
Oh, I don't even know how you can take in all of that at once.
I don't know how I was pretty much crying the whole day because I'd been crying the year before because the year before I was like, how did I get invited to this? I was like, I don't want to be here. I'm overwhelmed. Also, I didn't. Then I realized 2 days later it was just my period was coming the next day, child. I was going through
Sure.
it.
Upset.
But the next year, when I mean Amber, she was like, we had to get this to you early because we needed you to sit with this. And I said, thank you for letting me sit with it because I am what she knows I'm one of those people that I just don't think that I don't do it for that.
Hmm.
I know everyone else in this industry does, but I just don't do it for the awards and the recognition. It's not why I do it. I don't care for any of that.
It's not the point.
It's for me, it's not the point. Some people love that I have this, I have that, I got this, I got that. They love to run their resume. I don't give a damn about any of
Right.
that.
My performance will speak for itself. Yes.
Very exactly.
I also feel like Kayla's Corner, your social media series, felt like your way of being just like a big sister and auntie to so many people online. And like, what motivates you to want to take on that role? Because it's really leaving the industry better than you found it.
Um, well, it's funny because I actually, if it brings a lot of controversy, but I'm mostly just saying the things that people don't want to say, and I'm trying to say it in a nice way. But what the children have to remember is that I grew up on Real Housewives. I grew up on I Love New York. I grew up on New York
Oh my
Tiffany
God.
Pollard. I have time. So, which is why I had to stop the series for a little bit. I will do my best to try to bring it back, but like I just want to be a voice for the people that don't feel like they can speak up for some things. But some
Mhm.
things I'm like, I have discernment to just not say because I
Yes.
know I will hurt feelings. And I don't want to hurt people's feelings. That's not why I've been put on this earth. I have been put on this earth to hurt. I've been put on this earth to heal.
Yeah.
And so, but I do want the young Black artists to know, like, speak up for yourselves. Say the things that some of these people won't say. And some of them will say it, but like, I think I've just been in this industry long enough to know that maybe that could have stayed in the group chat. Didn't need to go
Yes.
on the internet.
Yes.
And that's what the children are not learning these days is like everything has to go on the internet. It doesn't. You can keep it in the group chat.
Yes. Did you see like my soul leave my body when you said you're a Real Housewives person? Because I was walking home from dinner a few weeks ago and I saw Miss Countess Luann outside on a date. And you know, I looped around again and
Of
she
course.
knew. And I heard that deep, deep, deep voice.
Okay,
And
see, the
I'm,
thing is I don't watch the white franchises.
and that's fair. That is really fair.
I know I know the white icons.
Yeah.
I know the icons. Okay,
Yeah.
look, Countess absolutely.
Yes.
I know the icons. I don't know their tea, their drama. I'm a housewives girl. I grew up on that. And so My reads are that of Phaedra Parks.
Yes, of
Was
course. It's
like a
that, and
crazy.
it's the Nene Leakes Glee pipeline.
Oh,
It's that.
see, and that's this is. I hope you are getting a clear understanding of why I probably should not be posting on TikTok in Taylor's
Yeah.
Corner. I'm telling you, my reads are that of Tiffany New York Pollard, Portia Williams, Kenya Moore, Phaedra Parks, Nene Leakes, and really Nene Leakes. Let's be very clear. A lot of her reads I memorized. I laugh because I say if I ever get like, can you come up with a monologue? I'd probably use a Housewives script.
Yes.
Like I'd probably just stitch together a bunch of reads and like I definitely use the Phaedra Parks read with Kenya Moore, medium-sized pizza. I would use that as a monologue. Like these are things that these children don't understand about me, and I have time. Like I love the Lord, but I also will read you for filth.
Well, and all of these Nene sound bites are coming back on TikTok, and I'm living for it. It's
And
so
they don't even
good.
get the context. These
No,
children don't even get the
no,
context of these reads. That's what
no,
gets me. You're like making these videos, these sound clips of these sound bites or whatever, but you don't even know the context.
no,
Bling, bling, bling. But you don't know it. You don't get
no.
it. Did you hear that there's a new, I don't know if it's a Housewife series, but there's something coming to Amazon Prime with Kim
What?
Zolciak, Kenya Moore.
Oh, I'm
I don't know,
sick.
I think it's all of the like trash housewives that have been like thrown to the side.
That
And
need
I
a
think
check. Kim
that part.
Zolciak and her direct links.
Oh, Kim Zolciak and stealing from her daughter. Okay, we are on the wrong. This is not dress
I know, I
rehearsal.
know, I know, I know. Oh, it's just like, yeah, she's not well. She's always stealing from her daughter.
It's not well.
No. Okay, we do need to get into your fashion because you bring it. And I'm obsessed with your denim opening night look for Redwood because it felt so right. The earth tones, but also like the ruffles were so true to like you. What was your inspo? And what is your philosophy on a red carpet look having to reflect the show? Because I feel like you did it
Mm.
perfectly and very nuanced.
Well, I am of the world and time of Zendaya.
The
And I
La
fully
Roach
believe that
Renaissance.
the Law Roach, I fully believe in dressing for the theme of whatever you are representing. I styled myself along with co-styling with my brother. He wanted me to wear a dress, and I don't do dresses. I do not do dresses. I love my suits. I love my tailoring. I think a well-tailored fit on a woman is stunning.
Agree.
And I saw this, it popped up on my feed actually before I booked Redwood. And
Wow.
I said, I don't know what this is, but I need this. It's an African designer. And I was like, I don't know what this is, but I need this. And then I booked Redwood and I knew exactly. So the first paycheck actually went to the pants and the bralette. And I didn't have a jacket at the time. I didn't get the jacket. The pants were like $500. The bralette was like 200, and I was like, I have to buy that. This is not a rent moment. I need to purchase this.
It needs
I
to be
will get a lot of
archived.
wear out of these pants. Yes, I was like, these pants will be framed in my home. Like they have to. I have to have them. And I thought my original thought was when I saw them, they looked like a redwood tree.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, they they gave the tree, and I was like, that's stunning. Okay. And then my brother, he went and got me a leather jacket that was like a little bit it was more of like a corset situation with like high shoulders,
Oh,
and I
sick.
loved it. I loved it so much. But something about it was like, man, if I came in full uniform with a full denim, knowing that everyone else is going to be like glitz and glam,
Mm-hmm.
I might. And I also knew I wanted to wear a grill representing LA, Compton of it all, of where Becca was from. So I knew that I needed to like, if I were to dress it up with this leather jacket, it probably would throw off the whole outfit. So I was like, I got to do the full uniform. And it's heavy.
But you did 15 pounds in six.
It was, yeah, but it was heavy. The pants
Mm,
are very heavy.
yeah.
And that was the thought process of like, it looked like a tree. The pants looked like a tree. And that is what I was immediately was like, okay. And then I was like, am I being too revealing with the bralette of it all? And I was like, heck no. It's an opening. But I believe in the Law Roach Zendaya of it all. I think it is very important, the Andre Leon Talley of it all. I think the coat. I think it is very important to dress for the occasion.
Yes. His book, Andre Leon Talley. Oh my God. It is
There's
like off
actually
the
someone
wall.
you should interview in our industry. His name is Arnold Harper.
Okay.
I believe he might be Andre Leon Talley reincarnated. Um,
Obsessed.
he styled me for the Black Woman on Broadway with it was the first time I wore a dress. I was wearing a dress.
The
Everyone was
red
like,
was
"What
so
the
good.
hell?" They were
Yeah.
like, Kayla's in a dress. And I was like, Arnold did this, but he knew exactly what the silhouette I was looking for. He knew I wanted red. I wanted, stepping out as like a bad bitch. Like I'd just be like red on a black woman is so sexy.
Hmm.
And so yeah, throwing that name out there because he's also one of my muses and I'm one of his muses. So I feed a lot off of him now, but I didn't know I wasn't as close with him as when I did Redwood. But yeah, I'm believe in the Law Roach Zendaya of dressing for the theme of what you're doing.
Yes.
I'm just a big believer in like women don't always need to be in dresses at these premieres.
No.
I never liked wearing dresses, skirts. I never, ever, ever enjoyed that. I have such long legs that a suit I think is so sexy and is so it's a power move. And
Hmm.
I make power moves. I like making a power move on a red carpet. So anytime I get invited somewhere, unless I'm trying to go incognito. I'll throw on a wig if I'm trying to go incognito to places. And like I don't people truly don't recognize me with a wig on and I actually love it. But if not, I'm always gonna opt for a suit.
Hmm.
Always gonna opt for a suit or something tailored, but it needs to be to the theme, color scheme of what is happening, what I'm going for.
Right. And we had Kim Exum from Book of Mormon on the podcast, and she was talking about how, like, for the Black women on Broadway, like, it's so fun for her to dress up. And she's also, like, pretty tomboy with her looks. But
Mhm.
her daughter is, like, the girliest girly girl in the entire world. And she's like, how the hell did I get this kid? Like, where did she come from? But it is
Man.
fun to, like, lean into that through her daughter. And
Yeah.
she's like, that's not me, but that is you.
Yeah, Kim Styles fly. Fly.
It's
Her
so
hat
good.
game, out of this world.
Yeah,
Out of this
so
world.
good.
Yeah, yeah.
And do you feel like when you're in a show, it ever influences your style? Like maybe you got a little crunchier with Redwood, like a little more moody in Hadestown, or you're like, this is how Kayla dresses all the time.
No, I have this is how Kayla dresses
Love.
all the time. I I do when we have like press events, I do need them to be very specific about how they want me to look because if it were up to me, I will come as tomboyish as possible. And sometimes like for six, they were very like, okay, I used to have a slit in my eyebrow. They
Mm,
asked me to grow my eyebrows out so because it looked too tight. And I was like, that's fine. I'm willing to do that. But like sometimes I would draw a slit. I would like take concealer and like make a slit in my eyebrow, and then they would be like, all right, all right, all right, like calm down with that.
yeah.
But I don't. I think that I also have such a wide range of style and what I like to wear. I'm very Megan Thee Stallion, switch my wig, make him feel like he's cheating type of girl. I love a good wig. I love to one of my biggest fashion inspirations is Tiana Taylor and
Mm,
how she can go so quickly from feminine to masculine. Her
that
wave in the middle of it all
the Oscar
is
Chanel. Oh my God.
disgusting. Now, I don't love the revealing of all the body part. I'm
Sure.
not one of those. I really am very modest in the way I do dress.
Sure.
But she, for me, is it. That the being able to switch in and out of the masculine, feminine is super important for me. And I love that I'm able to do it so fluidly
Hmm.
because so yeah, I don't think any show is really like actually I feel like I did not get really into my style until I moved into New York and then I was like, "Oh yeah, I can really just wear whatever I want." Because these people out here don't care.
Hmm.
I can wear a clown suit and these people don't care.
Well, we had Jay Harrison G on the pod, and that's all Jay talked about was like moving to New York, just like opened up something inside of them that like they were already dressing, but like
Hmm.
that. And also, you even look at Adina. Adina's pretty tomboy with her clothes. Like she
Oh
wore a
yeah.
suit on the red carpet. Like she does it really well too, of where she goes in and out of kind of like masculine, feminine looks, and it
Hmm.
is really cool to see.
Yeah, I just I don't see a lot of I don't see a lot of women trying to like play with the silhouettes. I feel like you can get a better silhouette out of a suit than you can a dress.
Agree.
There's so much you can do with the top and the bottom of a suit that you just can't once you get a dress, and nine times out of ten, most women just want their dresses to form fit. And it's like that's not necessary. That's just not it doesn't matter. Another one who I love in this industry is Cody Renard.
Yes, we
The
talked about this.
fashion is out of this world. Like I'm like, yes. And same with Jay. Like I'm just like, they know how to put it
Yes.
on. And I'm like, there's a part of me wants Coleman Domingo to like come over here and give us our flowers. Cause he was like, I
God.
saw that interview where he was like, no one's dressing like me. And I was like, baby, you need to
Yes.
come over here. We tear it up over here on Broadway, low key. Like there are some people that eat it down every time. And
Yes.
Cody Bernard is one of those people that
We were
like,
talking about Cody because we had Rod Cyrus from Ragtime on, and Rod was
mhm.
like, I
Love
just go
Rodney.
to Cody's office and I sit at the hand of Cody and I learn and we talk about fashion. And they have this whole idea of how like men need like their own rent the runway because men can't rent
Yes.
clothes the way that women get to. And Coleman Domingo, the man that you are, after I saw that movie Sing Sing, I don't know if you saw it.
Yes.
Oh my God. I went on a deep dive of this man and the fashion and the fact that him and Anna Wintour go on theater dates together and
Hmm.
they see everything. And I'm like, if I could be your third chair, I know you're not looking and I don't have the qualifications, but if you guys want a really silly third chair, I could
Man,
spice things up.
that man, I mean, it's people like that like want to bend the ideologies of around fashion and like what it needs to be. And this is like breaking this, like what society says men and women should dress. Like the
Mhm.
way that he's broken that up, and same with like that's how Cody is for me. Like Cody broke that for me. He was one of the first people in this interview. I was like, go off. Same with T. Oliver Reed. I don't
Mhm.
know. T. Oliver Reed, first of all, his Tom Brown collection. That
Mhm.
man is gonna come in a Tom Brown suit and is gonna eat it up every single time. A cape, if you will, a kilt, if you will. Like that man dresses. So I luckily I've been around Amber Gray. For her, that Tony season of Hadestown, watching her style, and she was like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care what you're wearing. I don't care that everyone's coming with a gown, coming with pearls. I don't care. When she was telling us what she was going to wear to the Tony Awards that night, and she did the pinned over, I was like, Amber, my icon, mother. Because
Yeah.
that's, yes, I about like, come on. That I love somebody that's gonna think outside the box, because fashion always wants to try to put us in such a box. So I wish people just didn't care what people thought or what people are staring. Nine times out of ten, if they're staring, they wish they could do it.
Right.
They're wondering, dang, why can't I pull that off?
Growing up in the Midwest, do you feel like fashion was kind of your way of standing out, or was that not something that was on your radar yet?
Not something that was really on my radar. My dad is one of the flyest, one of the flyest men I've ever got to witness. Like the way he will put together a whole Adidas fit, and you would think that he's going to like an interview. Like he
Mm.
just looks so fly. I got to like see these two people in my life dress and play with fashion, play with color. My older sister played with color, whereas my dad, he would play with textures. He has this corduroy Adidas. Also, Adidas is one of my favorite brands.
Mhm.
So like, but he has this corduroy Adidas jumpsuit, jacket, pants, matching shoes. He has a matching pair of Adidas shoes for every single outfit that he wears. Like that's the type of, so he was probably the inspiration, but I was never the loud and wild, like wear it out. And not until I moved to New York and I got a little money. I was like, let me dress up. Let me wear what I want
Yeah.
to wear these days.
There's this place in Soho I think you would be obsessed with. I can't think of the name of it, but it's all vintage coats and it shows like it's like my grandma's vintage whatever and it shows the woman that wore it. So it's like a little bio on the woman and it's like
Oh,
this is Patricia on her first trip to New York City and this is the
oh
coat
my
she
gosh.
wore and they had a whole dandy section of these black men that had style for days and they had these
Oh,
military jackets. They had like the most tailored suits and it was so cool to see the person behind the jacket. It was the most and I just walked by it one day and I was like, what the hell is this?
wow. Yeah, you got to send me that because that
Yeah.
sounds fantastic. Oh, that dandy theme at the Met Gala. Oh man, the children they didn't do well.
No.
They missed the mark. That was the first year I was like, wow, none of us understood the theme. Most people did and did it really well, but some people I was like, wow, you don't know what dandyism
No.
is. And
No.
not you being in New York and not being able to pull something out.
Not
Like
you being
it's
at
in
the
New
Met
York.
Gala and not being educated.
I mean, yeah, I think that is so cool to just express yourself in a different way. And I'm bald. So I don't have my nails done. I mean, they're just like red right now, but I express myself through my glasses and my accessories and my nails because I don't have the privilege to be like, and I'm gonna wear this hairstyle with curls, big curls today. Like, I mean, yeah, I could throw on a wig, but that adds 15 minutes onto my schedule. I don't got time for
Hey,
that.
but your glasses collection does it.
Yes, I do. I have about 25 pairs of glasses.
My
And I
God.
try to match my glasses to my outfits. I do rotate through the same, like, five pair, but like I do love my glasses.
I feel like Carrie Bradshaw is to shoes as you are to glasses.
And the thing is also I am blind, so they are all prescription.
Oh, okay,
They
fun
are
shit.
all prescription glasses. I get asked that a lot. They're like, are those prescription? I'm like, they absolutely are. I'm blind.
Well, I could talk to you all day, but we do
It's been
have
great.
our last question, which is, what do you hope will be your signature stamp on the industry?
Oh, that's hard. I mean, I hope I can be like a passport and have multiple stamps. Like
Obsessed. And it's
we
just
travel
kind of
with
like,
me.
what do you hope a room says about you after you leave? Like what you leave them with.
I mean, I hope that they, first of all, understand that, first of all, that I'm a lover of God and that everything that I do is from Him. It comes from Him. And I think that a lot of people do joke around about that, but not in a bad way, but they're like, that they do call me the woman of God. Every time I walk into her, I'm like, hello, woman of God. I'm like, thank you. It's an honor. But that's the first thing and foremost. I really hope that everyone leaves knowing that I am just an embodiment of Christ. But then at the same time, I also want to be the person that poured and soaked. I want to be able to pour into the younger kids, but I also want to be reminded that I'm always going to be a sponge and a student of the craft. And so I hope that when I'm not in the room, that they're speaking highly of me and saying that, she's fun to work with. She's a good time. I'm always the one to say I'm here for a good time, not a long time.
Hmm.
And so, yeah, I want to be remembered as the one who gave it her all, never gave up, and continued to open doors for the ones that didn't think that they could. And was a great representation of the ones. I hope that I can keep inspiring the young Black kids and the young Black artists because there's not a lot of us that are up here doing what we do best and that are willing to pour into the kids.
Hmm. And I couldn't think of a better way to end it. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Mackenzie. I appreciate you.
And that's our show. Be sure to rate, review, and subscribe to Dress Rehearsal. If you love theater and fashion as much as we do, invite another diva to join the community. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, all the places. See you next time.